Gursimran, there were very real fears that Israel may have to deal with war on two fronts at least. But at the moment, it does seem that from Syria and Lebanon, things may have calmed down a bit, or, or are we speaking too soon?
See, it's been almost 4 days that we have been reporting from here in Israel, and what we can make out of the situation is that the northern side, when it comes to the Lebanon, the things have gone down, because for the past 3 years we have seen a decline in the activities of Hezbollah group, to be very specific. But the Syria border, that has seen some of the fluctuations yesterday. That means there has been an activity. One of the commanders was also killed on the Syria border. So this somewhere shows that there will be a fluctuating effect that it will have. If the Israel side tries to enter the Gaza Strip, then there will be some of the repercussions that they will face on the northern border as well as on the Syrian side. So that is what they are also keeping in mind, and that's why a pre-planned operation is being drafted, so that if all the fronts are opened at once, then they will also be capable, they should also be capable to tackle the situation, because the Hezbollah group is a real threat. We spoke to many of the officials and they said that Hezbollah is a real threat, and that he cannot be undermined, keeping in view that we are fighting a front with Hamas in the Gaza Strip. So the Israel authorities, they are keeping everything in mind, and the way they have been surprised with the attack that has been carried out by the Hamas last Saturday, they are in no mood to take any risk, and that's why a full strategy is being planned to carry out the operations.
Now, yesterday, Benjamin Netanyahu, when his war cabinet took over, he spoke in Parliament, and he very categorically said that, we think that days ahead could be very, very tough for Israelis. He was obviously indicating at an escalation. But apart from that, there are still talks, that are on between the US. We know that Antony Blinken is going to be meeting the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. He's also going to be meeting King Abdullah. So what is that about? Are they still hopeful that Israel perhaps may not actually enter into Gaza?
See, the move of the Secretary Blinken to meet the president of Palestine clearly shows that the US is trying to now negotiate between the Israel and also the Palestine. But it is seems almost next to impossible that there will be any change in stance when it comes to Israel, because what Israel says that it is a high time they will be avenging the killings. See, this is one of the drastic attacks in the history. They have named it that it is the 9/11 movement of the Israel, but the reality remains that the death and destruction that has been witnessed and the way these brutal killings have been carried out, 9/11 was something different, carried out in a different way, but this was more brutal, and this was more planned precisely to tarnish and also to target the sovereignty of the Israel. So as the situation emerges so far, there seems to be no end to the Israel's retaliation. The retaliatory strikes will continue, and they will go to a next level, what it seems for now.
Right. Also, one of the key concerns at this point in time, Gursimran, remains foreign citizens who are still stranded in Israel. Now, the US has begun to operate its flights. India has already got about 220 of its citizens out. But give us an overall sense of how many foreign nationals will be in Israel, and how are the evacuation efforts of all of these people now going forward?
See, the number will be around 5 lakh. That is what we got to know from the different people that we spoke to. And the Poland, they have already begun the evacuation. It was almost a day after the incident took place, they began the evacuation. The US is also doing so. India has also begun the Operation Ajay, and 212 of its citizens, they have also gone back. And today also we are told that another flight will be taking the Indian citizens back to New Delhi. So this is the operations that the various countries are carrying out. But one thing is what it we can make out of the present situation, that the hinterland has been secured to a large extent by the Israel. So if the war broke out, the impact will be in the areas that we are reporting from, that is Sidroit area, Ashdod area, Ashkelon area, but the Tel Aviv and the other cities, they will not be having a larger impact, because now what is happening, that the Israel forces are advancing towards the Gaza side. It is not that the Hamas terrorists have entered their territory. They are clearing there are inputs that some hostile aircrafts are entering the territory. They are being shot down. The inputs of some terrorists infiltrating, they are being checked upon. So now the hinterland seems to be secure, a lot more secure than it was on last Saturday, and it has to be seen how things actually pan out with the time, because what Hamas has in their kitty is something that everyone is looking into, because Hamas is a brutal, what we have seen on the last Saturday, Hamas is brutal, and they have minutely planned everything. Was it only a single operation that they had planned, or they have some other nefarious plan? That is something the agencies, the Mossad and also the internal security agencies are working on.
Right, Gursimran, reporting for us from near the Gaza border. Thank you very much for joining us for the moment. We'll of course keep coming back to you for updates through the day, Gursimran.